I agree with his King of the Hill assessment. I think LG are going to pull it back, though, on the other two maps. But either way, I think it's going to be very close.
All right, we're going to have some exciting gameplay coming up for you guys, and I'm going to hand it over to our talented casting team one last time today. That's Golden Boy and Mr. X up in the skybox. Boys, how you doing?
Thank you so much, Rachel. Of course, talent is what we are just bustling with here. I have so much talent in my pinky finger.
I just encompass all of the talent here over in the skybox.
It's just entirely untrue. But thank you so much for joining us here for the final match of the day, folks. It is Anox versus Luminosity Gaming. And if you're just joining us, we've had an incredible day of Overwatch action here. We just saw a great battle between Rogue and Misfits. Now, the winner of this match will face off against Misfits tomorrow. So make sure you guys tune into that one. All of this leads up to TBS. That's right, folks. You're going to have one European team, one American team battling it out on stage for your entertainment on the television. In any case, let's go right into this one, Matt. Who do you want to check out?
Let's jump on with Luminosity first. You're going to see them running the Zenyatta. It's a big difference between them and Anox right now. Rubicon for Anox is going to be running that Ana. Obviously Ana is such a big prominent part of the meta, but Luminosity going to stick with the Zenyatta. That's what was tried and true before this. The Discord Orbs do a lot of damage. That's going to be Icefeld picking up one here to start things off. Just plowing through that Zarya shield, doing a nice job, putting down tons of damage on the tanks, going absolutely huge here at the beginning. And Luminosity should be able to get control, and they do. Good opening break there from Luminosity.
I don't disagree with our analysts who believe that that Anox are going to take this one, but one cannot argue that Luminosity has come out to play. Icefeld just got a lot of kills and pretty much set himself up nicely for a potential Death Blossom later on. Expect him to potentially get it in this fight too if he's able to stay alive, though. And this is, oh goodness, he's going to have to get away from it. But still, I had mentioned it before, and I cannot believe it. He just outplayed Cypher there. He had some support, but regardless of that, though, able to stay alive. Now it's going to be time for Anox to jump into this one. They want to stop the Rusters Winston, and they do so, and that should be a flip.
Yeah, it's a good break there from Anox, and they do have that nano boost to work with. You do not have the Death Blossom, though. That's been a prominent combination that we've seen throughout the weekend. They could potentially give it to Anox on that Winston. So see if that's the route they like to go. Icefeld does have the Death Blossom on the side of LG, though, so look for that in the next team fight.
Yeah, I wonder what Rubicon's going to do with this one, too. So it seems like she is going to nano boost Cypher, and Cypher just moving in right on the support. So that was going to be a good pickup there, but won't be able to get much out of that one as well. Let's see what Cypher is going to do. Is he's going to try and work his absolute best alongside Anox to try and secure this one, get this one right back, but it will be a clear from Cine. And Anox realizing this was just not going to work out, diving off and gets back on a spawn cycle with his teammate so they can get into this game.
Yeah, it's so important, right? I mean, just him.
And not give up ult.
Yeah, I mean, him staying inside of the point, not giving up more damage to the other team, building their ultimates, and not staggering his spawn with the rest of his teammates. So, jumps off the map. Good play there. Does look a little bit odd, right? Just for the first time you see it, but it is a very good play as got Manhattan with that Graviton Surge. Let's see if he decides to use it. It's going to be the Graviton coming in. It's going to be Cine dropping down that Pulse Bomb. Not able to get any. Does a lot of nice damage, though, to some of the opponents. Finishes off Cooler there on Lucio. Get back towards the point. And Luminosity running away with this first control point.
Yeah, this is a strong start for them. I think that for LG, they clearly feel like they're coming into this one a bit of the underdog here. I know I probably have them billed as that as well. I think Anox is a pretty solid team. Especially, it's really hard to bet on or bet against, I should say, two guys like Cypher and Cooler. And speaking of Cypher, he is just tearing it up, able to find one on Zave and another one on Icefeld, now pushing forward, and Mineral will not be able to stay alive long enough. And this is going to be a potential clear and flip. Yes, they are able to get it at the 99 percentile. Luminosity, one more battle, and they could clear them out, win this round. But Anox looking to dive right back into it.
They have a lot to do, though, Anox, if they're going to make this comeback. Obviously, down 99 to 40. Right now, they have no ultimates to work with. On the side of Luminosity, you just have the Pulse off that Cine just got. And Kenzie in a nice spot in the corner, just putting down some damage. You see Reaper just coming at him, has that Harmony Orb on him, so he's going to keep getting that healing from Zenyatta. It's going to be the Pulse Bomb from Kenzie. Doesn't get anybody. He's going to be able to take Manton down from behind. And now you see Kenzie working through the point, just putting down damage, picking up kills. This fight looks like it's going to go in the way of Anox, and it's just going to be Zave and Manatan alive for LG, trying to play inside of the point. They both drop, and now Anox in a good position to try and make this comeback.
Yeah, something to point out too about Kenzie's play here was really focusing on that Zarya right away. You know, Manatan, one of the better Zaryas in this space. When you're able to just knock him out of the battle and not allow him to make an impact the way that we all know he can, and, you know, provide those bubbles, get in there and really be effective, that is just huge. And Anox, they have to figure out how they're going to get back into this one. Dropping that pulse bomb, doesn't find anything though with it. There's going to be a Primal Rage. Winston, Kenzie right back at it yet again. Great movement, but I just don't know if it's going to be enough. He's going to need the support of his teammates here if he wants to get back into this. Anox going to be raged out as well. There goes the Graviton Surge, just waiting not to jump into it. But Manatan and Mineral are going to find the necessary kills. But here comes Cypher. Cypher has a Death Blossom, but it's going to get pushed down. Able to find Ruster, though. And could this be an Icefelt now? That's going to be huge. And he is able to pick up 3, a 4th one to boot. And that will be a point for Luminosity.
Big play there by Icefelt. A huge Death Blossom there. The final seconds, 99-99. You need your big players to go clutch. Icefelt does it there, picks up 4 kills, secures the point for Luminosity.
That was incredible. Icefelt just knew that he had that opportunity. He was in Wraith form as well when Cypher dropped down the Death Blossom and waited that one out wonderfully. Had the positioning and was able to come out on top with it. So LG coming out of the gate strong here, folks. Of course, our analysts had believed that this was certainly going to be one that went in favor of Anox.
I'm taking Luminosity.
I look at you, you rebel.
Yep.
Man, look at you. Just
Because if I'm wrong, it's okay because all the analysis guys picked Anox. If I'm right, I'm a genius because they all picked Anox.
I mean, you know, you're really giving yourself a lot of credit there, buddy.
I am, and you can see actually, and they're going to have Cypher switch over. He's going to run Genji, so they're going to get extremely aggressive with Kenzie on the Tracer and on the Winston, and just dive in on the opponents with that combo.
Yeah, I'm excited to see Cypher's Genji, man. He is a really good Genji player. But you know what, though? Ruster just seems to be zapping everyone. He's like, go ahead, block this, homie. And that is going to be a clear, and they are going to get this point. There will be one more person, but Cooler knows that it was just not worth going for it. And they are going to get it, adding some points to the board. Luminosity with another strong start.
And it's difficult when you don't have Reaper and you don't focus Winston right away. I mean, you know, Ruster does all that damage. He gets right in the enemy faces, and he still has like 250 HP. So nobody focuses on him, on Winston. He's able to just do a ton of damage, take out the squishies.
Well, I think that's what they're hoping Rubicon could do with Zenyatta, to just, you know, be able to discord Ruster and focus on him. Cypher, good work from him, but he's going to get focused on, and that will not amount to much there. But here comes Ruster. He's going to Primal Rage, try and knock Shark out. And you see just when he lands there, how the knockback affects you. You really got to collect yourself again. And that is going to be Luminosity one more time securing this one. And they have a good amount of ults, but you got to look at Shark as well. Shark and Cypher. Actually, Cooler, Rubicon, and Anox, they're going to have theirs in a little while as well. Maybe after this scuffle, they could get their ults, and we could see a flip here if they're not careful.
Well, Luminosity is working on their ultimates as well. You're going to see Manatan get stuck in a Graviton Surge. He's going to use his as well. You see a Pulse Bomb come out. It's going to be City picking up 2, save with 1. You see Icefelt pick up Anox, and you see the last 2 players of Anox give their lives away, want to spawn back with the rest of their teammates, try and make another good push at this. But, you know, Golden Boy, they're running out of time. It's 70 ticks on the board and counting for Luminosity, and Icefelt set up to use this Death Blossom, really wreak havoc on the opponents.
Oh my goodness, Icefelt, please bring it to them. He is just on point with his Death Blossoms, his shots as well. Icefelt with the support, and really, you just have to praise the plays that this man is making. 90% left on the board here. They're not going to have any ults to work with. You are going to have Rubicon, who will have a Transcendence, so expect him to pop that. But Ruster will have himself a Primal Rage and just knocks everyone around here. Kenzie, though, trying trying to get something going as he hops onto the point. But Luminosity, just in the nick of time, are going to have a body on it. And this was a sneaky flip. You saw it happen before in a previous series. It was almost about to happen again, but it seems like that won't matter because Luminosity is going to get the clear, and they're going to secure themselves another point here, X.
Yeah, fantastic play by Luminosity, shutting out completely the side of Anox. So some nice things from Icefelt there on the Reaper, able to just use those Death Blossoms, pick up the necessary kills, and really just stop any type of push. I mean, right there, that Death Blossom at the door towards the end really secured the game for LG.
Whew. Man, this is good. Good start for LG. I'm not going to
My
lie.
pick is looking great.
Yeah, you look like a gosh darn genius there, X. Look at you, man.
Many have said that.
You're so smart, you know. You're so smart.
It's just really odd that everybody I run into has the same opinion.
Well, I mean, you know, I'm being facetious, clearly. You know, I just think you're kind of rolling with it.
I don't think so.
Clearly didn't
Anyway,
pick Luminosity.
let's focus back on the game.
Come on.
Gonna switch over Manhattan to the Mei. So I obviously going to change up the comp a little bit going into this next point. And Cypher now going to switch from Genji to Reaper. So we talked a little bit about, you know, how effective the Winston was on the side of Luminosity Ruster in that last one. Now they're going to switch over to Reaper, going to have a little bit more damage to be able to deal with him.
Yeah, you know, you have all those pellets hitting that large body of Winston, so there's just not much that he can do besides dive out of there. So a good switch there, in my opinion. Cypher's going to get that, and this is going to be Anox taking this first point here, adding some time, or adding some percentage, I should say, to the clock. And you know, honestly, Kenzie he's been a great player for this game. Despite the scoreboard, Kenzie has done a lot of correct moves, you know, good harass, really just being a pain in the neck for this Luminosity team, and doing the same thing here as well, really focusing down on Manhattan, not getting hit, not letting him breathe, right? And that has to be frustrating. And look at the movement that you could possibly have with Kenzie, being able to zip around, and of course that recall just going right back to where you began and getting that health again means that Kenzie just has good timing, and I keep repeating it, but this is a guy who clearly understands his hero and how to use him.
Yeah, and I mean, he's getting great help from his teammates right there. Use that recall at the end. You know, has the Winston there with him and Lucio able to take him out. But here comes a big Death Blossom from Cypher. He's able to get to Kenzie with another, and that just thwarts the push completely of Luminosity before it even began, as they are all going to drop. Gonna have to work their way back from the spawn, but fantastic play there by Anox.
That was wonderful because of the bubble that Shark had thrown down for Cypher, and he basically gave him a clothesline from hell there, which was quite incredible. You know that reference there, buddy.
I do.
So I think that overall, Anox, they came out to play this time around. They finally figured out what they want to do, what their comp would be, how it would work out. There goes the Graviton Surge. Here comes Kenzie with a big bang, and will find herself too. Good job there from the Tracer, focusing down now on the supports, and this is going to be a lot of ult built up as well. Mineral knew that he pretty much did not have a chance there. And Kenzie now halfway to building up on that pulse bomb one more time. Really just great synergy there between Shark's Graviton Surge and Kenzie's pulse bomb.
I mean, team kill after team kill in favor of Anox. It's gonna be Luminosity down 97-0. They gotta get going towards the point. They're gonna contest it now. They're gonna force overtime. Kenzie, though, being so aggressive, just pushing through the opponents, gonna put a lot of shots in the enemy Zenyatta. And you see the kill feed. It is all red in favor of Anox. They're gonna get on the board.
And another thing, too, to point out there is for that final battle, I mean, you basically had your two major DPS players, Icefelt and Cine. They just couldn't survive. They just couldn't. They were unable to stay alive. Actually, they went into that battle because they had no choice without Cine. And then Icefelt got focused on right away. So you just knocked out the Reaper there. They really just did not have the tools. They only had one ult, which was Cine's Pulse Bomb. That was a really hard fight for Luminosity to get out of. But still, Anox fought back, and they are right in this game.
Yeah, I mean, once Luminosity lost control at the beginning, they just were never able to get it back. It was just something where they couldn't get a push going. Time after time, Anox would use their ultimate abilities, you know, together for great advantage. I mean, we saw, I know, a fantastic Death Blossom by Cypher set up, you know, the next push that Luminosity tried to do. You saw the Graviton come in and the Pulse Bomb as well. And now, can Anox force another point on this one to, obviously just go to a decider point for the map.
It will certainly be very interesting if our first game here, I mean, these are two teams fighting for their tournament life in this competition here, folks. I don't think we emphasize that at the start of this one. But look at Anox, able to find 2 there, and Anox is going to have a strong start, and once again, just like they did in point number 3, they are going to be able to get it first. And we saw what happened last time. They just didn't let that one go.
Well, can Luminosity figure out a way to break? I think that's kind of the story of this game right now. I mean, they've done a great job when they're able to get control of the point, but now these situations where they need to break, they need to find a hole in the defense, they were just not able to.
Well, let's see what we have here. Zave waiting, just trying to see if he could support his teammates. And I love seeing some support because, it really gives you an idea of like what they're looking for, who they're trying to target, their main focal point. But Cooler, man, the legend himself is going to be there for the stop, and that will be Luminosity taking the L there. They're going to have to rethink their attack one more time. And Anox, they have figured it out, and this has been very impressive to see.
Yeah, and it is not good for Luminosity. I mean, look at all the ultimates that are coming up on the board for Anox. So you're going to have the Sound Barrier, you're going to have the Primal Rage, and then you have Cypher inching closer towards that Death Blossom. But now we'll see the side of Luminosity as they get aggressive towards the point. It's going to be Icefeld picking up 1. They're going to use the Transcendence to buy themselves some time, to give themselves some more sustain, trying to fight these engagements on top of the map. And you see it's going to be Ruster and Co. trying to get on top of that point, and they're going to make their way up the stairs. Cindy's going to pick up another, and the hill is going to go over towards Luminosity.
Cooler used that Sound Barrier there, and luckily for them, they are going to have a Transcendence available. But if I was looking correctly, there was only like 2 or 3 people left alive there when Cooler went for it. So there was just the entire squad of Luminosity just pushing up on him, and Icefeld just basically got red. That was really smart from Cypher, checking those corners, because you never know what's going to happen. Reaper is just really good at that. Here comes Kenzie, though, once again, just harassing the supports, trying to work with the teammates here, but a Pulse Bomb drops down, and Saney's going to pick him up. Saney gets 4 there, Saney gets 5, and that was nasty. And Luminosity hold it down once again. Certainly a huge play there for Cinny.
Well, we definitely have found our play of the game. That was absolutely sick by Cinny.
Yeah, that was nasty.
Just comes through, takes out the entire team of Anox. Now it's going to be Luminosity still trying to defend this off. Here comes the push. It's going to be Icefeld using that Death Blossom, going to get the enemies weak, not going to pick up any kills during it. But you see the Tranquility coming in for his team. He's going to be able to just get that healing, stay alive inside of the point. You see all the kills in favor of Luminosity. They are starting to get rolling, Golden Boy. Anox needs to figure out how to break this.
Well, they are going to have Cypher and Kenzie with their ults now, but it's going to depend on how they approach. High ground's probably going to be their friend. But you just got to be concerned if you're Anox. I mean, I don't believe they are aware, but Mineral does have that Sound Barrier, and that's going to keep him alive. And if they don't know, now they do, because he just popped it, giving his teammates all the health possible. Cypher will fall, as Cinny was all over him on that one. Icefeld as well, taking out the Zarya Shark. But Icefeld will fall. Actually, Rubicon picking up 2 and showing the power of Zenyatta. And this is going to go right back to Anox, right in the nick of time as well, because it's 93% for Luminosity. And if they get this one, they will win it. Remember, folks, it's a best of 5 for Control, so you have to win 3 rounds in order to take the W. So this next battle is going to be very important here, X.
Yeah, and Cypher's going to fly right through past that initial engagement from Ruster and just try and get those backline players with the Death Blossom. Does not work out, and nothing is working out for Anox right now. You thought they would have been able to use that Transcendence, hold on to the point. It does not work out that way at all. Luminosity just runs straight through him, takes the point, and they will take the map.
Brilliant work from Luminosity. I had Anox going all the way and taking this one, but Luminosity wants to prove the doubters wrong. And they're going to take that victory there, folks. Good job. Good job overall. I mean, honestly, when you have Icefeld and Senny just going off the way that they have been, and also, I mean, Manaton's like just incredible Zarya play, really reading those opportunities on when to use the bubble and protect the Reaper protect Icefeld when he dives in for the Death Blossom. It's those little things that you really have to appreciate here. LG just did incredible.
Yeah, now, you know, with Anox, the guys on the desk, they talked about it. You know, they were very good at control maps, so for them to lose this one, a little bit of a shocker, and here's the play. I dubbed as the play of the game. I'm happy it was regarded as. You see the 3 kills there with the Pulse Bomb, picks up Reaper as he's walking away. Kenzie just stops, gives up that last kill. Little wave for good measure at the end.
Oh, he knows.
The camera's on you.
He knows.
You made a sick play, so we put the camera on you. There you go.
You know what was really big about that, too?
Yeah.
Because you also had the Transcendence out for the Zenyatta. So that was really well timed, right? Because they just basically, he dived in there, he tossed a Pulse Bomb out. It was timed wonderfully to where when that Transcendence ended, they were still in that Graviton Surge. So there just wasn't a way for them to get out of there. And because of that, it just worked out wonderfully for them. LG taking that first one with style. Now we have Anox looking to pick here. Kings Row, Route 66. What do you think they're going to go with?
You know, I mean, 66 has been a map that people have kind of stayed away from. It seems like, you know, we've seen a ton of Kings Row today. It seems like that's a map that the Europeans are very comfortable with. So I would probably say Kings Row will be the next map you'll see.
And just look at this here. I mean, really, it was a light show, right? Across the board. You know, Cypher had some great denials, but then you also had Icefeld. And this was a wonderful one, too, because as soon as he realized that he had the enemy Cypher dead to rights, he went right for it. And it's just those little things that, you know, the LG guys did that just tipped it in their favor. Saini, once again, too, was a superstar throughout this entire matchup. You could talk about Icefeld and the great and the great Death Blossoms, but really it was these Pulse Bombs, man, and the Graviton Surges. That's when you have a guy like Manitin just simply, look at that, that was awesome.
And it's just the timing of the Gravitons, right? I mean, to know, like, the coordination that goes into that. I mean, the game is moving so fast, obviously, to communicate with your teammate, Cine, if he's in position in time to catch enough people to make it worthwhile, you know, to just coordinate those plays, extremely difficult on the fly.
That's why Manitin is one of the best Zaryas, man. I mean, the proof is in the pudding. He just understands that character really well, knows how to time that.
It speaks to him.
Yeah, that's right. It speaks to him. I would, you know, again, Zarya is one of my main heroes used, and I'm just writing notes, taking notes here. And here we go. So Route 66, you know, this actually makes sense because Kings Row is it's a map that everyone knows, everyone loves, and you know, I think for Anox, they just felt like, you know what, we just got to take this one. We have to go to Route 66. They feel like they have the better opportunity. I don't blame
Maybe it's a
them.
little bit of a gamble, you know, you're able to kind of surprise them, force that game 3, and then you go to Kings Row. It's interesting. I thought they probably would have went with a map that it seems like all the European teams are very comfortable on, but we'll see what comps both of these teams run at the start. So it looks like Kenzie's going to be on McCree. ZP was talking about how good he was on McCree earlier in the day. We'll see him put that to use. And now you see just a ton of offensive DPS heroes on the side of Anox on the defensive side. I mean, you're going to see Reaper, Tracer, and McCree here combined with an Ana Lucio combination, and then it's going to be a Winston as your only tank.
You know, this is interesting. So three DPS, 2 support, 1 tank. Tanks have certainly been the superstars of the current meta, but for Anox, they feel like they could do a little bit more with the damage that is provided from Kenzie's McCree and Cypher's Tracer, as well as Anox's Reaper. And here we go. Cindy's going to move in here, and they're just going to flood him. But there you have it. Shark just not letting them breathe there. And that's going to be a good stop. Icefeld backing away, just waiting for that opportunity to just move in on Shark here, which they are going to be able to clear that one out. So no tank support for them. Now it's just going to be all damage, and I like that one a lot. Rubicon coming out huge. They're going to hold this one off for the time being.
Yeah, and you're going to see Luminosity back out. Wait till they have a full team before they start to push this again. And you see Zave coming around the corner with that Zenyatta secondary fire, able to charge it up, just do a ton of damage if you're able to connect those orbs. And see, he's going to Discord Winston on top of the gas station. The Discord orb obviously just adds a lot of damage that your teammates can deal on it. You know, the multiplier just so good. It's almost like, you know, you can kind of compare it to obviously Mercy's damage buff, right? I mean, Mercy's damage buff only goes with one person. The Discord orb, good for everybody. You see 3 kills in favor of Luminosity. The payload keeps on moving. Both supports from Anox stuck on top of the gas station. They're going to have to back out. Let's see if Anox challenges this one more time or they give it up.
I think they'll give this one up here. I mean, you know, a little contest just for a little while there, but I mean, I can't really see them doing much with this. But here comes Mineral now, just manages to find 2 of his own, and there will be one more player in the back. And to be completely fair, I'm quite surprised that they went after this one. But they are going to get some ults out of that too. You are going to have Kenzie with a Deadeye, Shark with the Primal Rage, Anok with Death Blossom. Rubicon had used the Nano Boost already, but you know, that develops so fast, so I'm not really too concerned about that one. But for Luminosity, they got a lot to work with here, X.
And Cine is just trying to run for his life, trying to stay alive. He knows Winston's chasing him down. Had 11 health at the time, gets back in range of his friendly Zenyatta, able to get that Harmony Orb. And Luminosity moving the payload 3 minutes and 10 seconds before they have to get that second checkpoint. And now you see the battle ensuing. It's going to be Cine with Dragon Blade. Does he like to use it in this fight? His teammates are dropping, so you'd think he'd hold on to it. It seems like they're trying to disengage, but Sharky will not let them go. Anox picks up some kills. They have some ultimates. They are in a good spot.
It's just very interesting, the changes here, right? I mean, we talked about the 3-2-1 composition, 3 tanks, 2 supports, 1 DPS, but this one seems to take a different style now. And there goes a Death Blossom. That was going to be Anok on that one. But Manitin, and again, Manitin with an incredible Zarya, but really just, you know, understanding, hey, I know how to attack a tank, so maybe this is why Reaper just works out for him. Shows the versatility, too, of this squad, which is very impressive. But, wow, my goodness, just shut down right away. And Sani actually used the Dragon Blade there, too, and got knocked out, put to sleep, GTS style. And not today, they said, but here you go, Luminosity now, just moving all up in their business. Anox, though, having to back away. But Icefelt, he's just continuing to navigate around the payload here and just really get around them and cause as many disruptions as he possibly can with his Tracer.
Yeah, but he's not able to pick up any kills. And you see in the kill feed, I mean, nobody from Luminosity able to get anything going right now.
Such a dance.
No, Icefelt putting down a ton of damage, doing a fantastic job staying alive. Does not have the teammate support right now. Finally, he's going to be able to get taken out by Anak. Now it's going to be Anox trying to set up here on the defensive end. They have the Deadeye to work with on Kenzie. Zave has that Transcendence for Luminosity, so could use that, you know, in case you want to save your teammates from the Deadeye. Maybe you save that in case, you know, when Anak gets that Death Blossom yet again. I think that's probably where you probably look to save it for.
Yeah, I think, you know, they realize that they're going to need at least one, just one big ult, right? Like Anox will definitely need it, and here it goes. You're going to have Anok now, who will be nano boosted. Rubicon got that one up real quick, but there goes the Transcendence, read really well, and there's going to be no damage given for that one, but it is going to stop the attack only for a moment there. Anok, though, he will get that sound barrier, but he won't be able to stay alive long enough as he got focused down by Icefelt. Cypher and the crew looking for this, looking for a couple picks here, maybe just build up some ult. Cypher wants to just continue to harass, but this is going to be Luminosity, and they will get this checkpoint and add more time to the clock. 30 seconds left there, but overall, pretty solid run there from LG.
Oh yeah, I mean, Anox held them for a very long time. I mean, there was only 30 seconds left when they were able to get that checkpoint. It started with a little over 3 minutes, so a good hold there from Anox. Luminosity trying to set up here on the offensive side of things. Cine with that Deadeye.
Just waiting for an
up top,
opportunity.
and he's going to get spotted, and now they know exactly where he is.
There goes the
It's gonna
dive.
be very difficult for him to do anything.
This is going to be tough, but that was a good fan to hammer, but sadly for him, Anok was there to help him out. Icefelt focusing down now on Shark, and there goes the sound barrier to keep Luminosity very much in this fight, and they're able to clear out quite a few bodies here. Rubicon doing his best to keep everyone in this alongside with Cooler, but finally, Anox is going to get cleared out, and this is going to be Icefelt here and family making this move. The LG fam, can they make this one a reality here?
Ooh, and look at Manitin with that Death Blossom.
Waiting.
Oh, perfect position.
Waiting for the dive, waiting for the opportunity. There goes the Death Blossom. He's going to drop down. Manitin finds one, and that is going to be a second as well. Manitin now moving in. Icefelt's going to get yet another, and the DPS doing a lot of work here, and Luminosity get the clear.
Yeah, and there's one more player coming, though. It's going to be Cooler using that sound barrier. He is going to drop with a quickness. Cine able to pick up 2 there at the end using his Deadeye. Luminosity converts the entire map, gets all 3 points, and I believe has 46 seconds remaining on the clock.
I mean, honestly, Luminosity. This has been a new gear for this team, right? They had.
I believed. When nobody else believed, I believed.
I mean, they had a very tough match against Misfits. Misfits, who, you know, had a substitute player coming in, too, as a matter of fact, that joined the team last minute.
You gotta have faith, Alex.
Well, I mean, I hate when you like get things right, but you didn't. You know, like it's really aggravating.
To be fair, I did pick Luminosity when they were up 2 points to 0
Yeah.
on the first map. But I mean, Anox still has an opportunity to attack. They did a good job on the defensive end, you know, in that second streets phase. You know, when you talked about Luminosity, they had about 3 minutes when we got to there. They whittled it all the way down to about 30 seconds, a very good hold. But right there at the end, it was just all Luminosity, and they're able to convert the map.
Yeah, and keep in mind, right, this is a time bank system. So what that means is very simple. You have an allotment of time that you can use, and if you manage to complete the objective, get 3 points with time remaining, well, if it goes to overtime, that means you get another round of action where you're going to be able to, once again, try to capture a point. So it would work in Luminosity's favor if they were able to stop Anox at 2 points with no time remaining. That will give Luminosity the win, and they will move on in this competition to get that rematch against Misfits.
Yeah, nobody wants to go home this early.
No.
You come, you want to play more than one day. I mean, it's a
It's
fun
true.
game in general. I mean, you want to just keep playing it.
And
so
also there's a lot of money on the line,
Right,
$300,000. You know, that kind of helps.
A decent amount of money on the line. Very nice amount of money on the line. But
Everyone
it'll be
should have a crouch
Luminosity
party.
on defense. They will be going with Icefeld on Tracer, sitting on the Genji on the defensive side of things. They'll be running 2 tanks. So when we saw Anox on the defensive side of things start off with just that Winston, it'll be Luminosity starting things off with 2 tanks. They'll have a Winston and a Zarya, and you see the kill feed completely dominated by Luminosity. Kenzie just trying to stay alive on the payload. He falls. It is just going to be Cypher alive for Anox. You see him running all the way back to his spawn. He doesn't want any part of all 6 members of Luminosity. Good first initial wave of kills by LG.
That was a strong start, and you also have Zave, who's going to be developing that Transcendence pretty soon. I think, you know, that was just a win to develop ult percentage, right? On each side, though, you know, you got to keep in mind Rubicon will have the Ana, where Luminosity, it is noticeably absent. So look for that nano boost to really cause some problems here. But there's Icefeld working with Sanium. They're just going to focus down on the Ana and not let her develop any ult percentage at all. And this was yet another brilliant stop here by Icefeld and LG.
Yeah, I mean, the reason that you don't see the Ana on the side of Luminosity is because you have, you know, all that dive potential, all that aggression, and when you have that and you can combine that with the Discord Orbs of Zenyatta, you see how fast that they're plowing through targets.
And of course, Transcendence. You know, that is just a tool that really just helps keep people alive, especially dealing with Cypher's Pulse Bomb that is prime and ready to go. Here comes Icefeld. It's also going to have a Pulse Bomb, and there goes the Graviton Surge. Big bang, and that is going to be Manitin for 2, and Icefeld for another. Ruster cleans up Kenzie. Shark, though, is able to drop Mineral, but I don't know if that's going to impact too much, as Icefeld and the rest of Luminosity are going to get yet another stop. And we're about to hit the 2-minute warning here, X, and Anox has been struggling to get it past the gas station.
Rubicon does have that nano boost, though. So you can always make those crazy plays happen with nano boost, where you can just bust open the opponent's defense, and we'll see who he gives it to, because I don't think he would give it to Cypher on the Tracer, and he's going to use that nano boost, and you see actually it's going to be Anox using that Graviton Surge as well, but that's when the Transcendence comes in on the side of Luminosity, and you're seeing Anox try to focus down targets, but it is not good enough. You see LG gets back towards the payload, picking up some kills. You see Winston just trying to stay alive, trying to use that Primal Rage now just to extend this fight a little bit longer, trying to take out Cine. It's going to be Cypher coming through that bottle tunnel, able to pick him up. Icefeld, though, still alive for LG. Dropping the Pulse Bomb, connects with nothing, trying to back out, getting towards that health pack, and it's going to be a fight that it looks like Anox is going to be able to get control of payload and push forward.
Yeah, but look at the time that was wasted, though, right? 1 minute and 13 seconds left on the clock. This was certainly a good couple plays here for LG to just be able to really drain time. And there goes the engagement. Sound barrier. Now, they don't want them to get that checkpoint, but there goes the sound barrier for Cooler as well. And now Icefelt on the move, looking for one. That's going to be a very primed and ready Anok, who had about half health remaining there. Icefelt on this one, but you know what? One has to wonder, and I was going to say, can he even stay alive? And just surrounded by literally every single person on Anox. That's a checkpoint, but we're going to have yet another 2-minute warning here for the blue team.
Yep. They just have that nano boost for Anox. It's going to be Rubicon on Ana. And on the side of LG, you do have that Graviton. So you'll see when they use that Graviton plus Pulse Bomb combination, that Zarya Tracer combo, that's so powerful.
And they know that there's a oh, look at that there. Nice drop of the Pulse Bomb, but he doesn't really get much for his trouble. And Rubicon in a world of hurt as well, just having to back away. They realized once that nano went out, the worst thing they could do is allow them to develop more ult percentage. So you just got to dive after them. And that has really just been the strength here of this composition. Just diving on your opponent, not letting them breathe, getting in their face, disrupting any opportunity that they would have to advance the payload, and having them reset one more time. So wow, just good work from LG. This is very impressive.
Yeah, now it's difficult for Anox because, you know, your one breaking ability that you had was that nano boost. So you do not have that at your disposal anymore. You see the Primal Rage coming in from Ruster, just causing so much mayhem over on the payload. And it's Anox not able to get anything going. You see the kill feed, Ruster with one, Manitin with another. Luminosity charging the opponents, pushing them all the way back. They're going to be forced to disengage with 50 seconds left. Anox has a while to go with this payload to get that checkpoint.
They're going to need a big play, and you know where that's going to be coming from, folks. We've seen this happen time and time again, but I think first and foremost, they're going to try and see if they can bait out Anok to get the big bang there with Cypher. If that doesn't work, Rubicon with Kenzie, or maybe they start with that one first, but here we go, dropping down that sphere of influence, just trying to get all those kills, but it doesn't find many, only one though. Needless to say, Anox are going to use all of their ults. They are going to be able to get this stop with 19 seconds left on the clock here. This is Anox's tournament life on the line. They managed to win that one by throwing everything against the wall.
Yeah, and Mineral's going to switch over to Lucio, so they're going to try and get that speed boost out and potentially use this Graviton Surge. They're probably going to try and contest this here.
Yeah, they're not there just yet. Here comes Manitin. He's waiting for the opportunity, and now it's going to be an overtime. They just timed that one wonderfully. Jumps everyone in there. There goes the sound barrier, and it is just absolute mayhem. Icefelt looking for one in front. Saini's going to fall. Manitin, or Saini's going to get Anok. Kenzie's going to fall now, and Luminosity wants to end this game. You're going to have Icefelt with a Pulse Bomb as well, looking potentially to hit the Winston there right in front, but is going to miss that one. But Icefelt does manage to pick up Cypher in turn, and that is going to do it, folks. Luminosity is going to win 2-0.
And as soon as you saw Mineral at the top of your screen switch over to Lucio, you knew that they were going to try and speed boost, try and use that Graviton Surge, and then just unload on the opponents. The amount of damage output after they dropped that Graviton Surge was too much for Anox to handle.
There was a sound barrier out there. They tried to stay alive as best they possibly could, but it just was not happening for Anox. It is very sad to see them go, of course. A team that fought very hard, but that's going to do it. LG comes out on top with a 2-0 victory, and they get their rematch against Misfits X.
Yeah, and I mean, just some incredible play from Icefelt, on multiple heroes throughout the game. We saw it, with the Reaper and the control points, and then we saw it, later in the payload maps, Route 66 with that Tracer. So very good game from him.
Yeah, that was Anox's pick as well, which, they went for it. They thought they were going to have it, but not today. They say LG, Luminosity Gaming, comes out